Alright, man, that was our spectacular entrance. Welcome everybody, reviewtheworld.com. It's Brian.
This is Eddie.
Behind this video is going to be a poetry corner, but right now we're going to talk Ninja Turtles for a minute. And before we get to this toy specifically, or the new show on Nickelodeon, Ed, you and I, both huge Turtles fans.
Definitely.
We grew up children of the 80s, 90s. Now, the original Ninja Turtles show, it's glorious. And it's all available now. All 10 seasons finally are out on DVD. You can get them all. If you have a lot of money, you can buy them in a Turtle van, which is really sweet. Unfortunately, yeah, I collected them as they were released over the last 4 or 5 years. So Ninja Turtles, original show is great. The original toys, also pretty great.
Yeah, and the new show. The
new show is great. Now, I want to say something. I've been working my way through the original '89 TMNT. I'm about 5 seasons deep, so I'm about halfway through it.
Is this the live action one?
No, this is the animated one, 1989. There's a giant bee on you. It's very friendly. It's interesting. I see, in the world of turtles, if I had some mutagen, I would just turtle on this bee and it would become this giant hulking beast with probably a bad libido and, you know, a couple catchphrases.
We gone?
No. Well, just if you leave it alone, it should leave you alone.
Let's walk. Maybe.
Is it gone though?
Yeah, it's up there somewhere.
Thank God.
Yeah, sorry for that intrusion. We were.
I'm allergic.
Oh, I didn't know. So the original Turtles is very fun. It's a little bit zany. They break the fourth wall. If you're not familiar with film terms, that basically means they look directly into the camera. They talk to the audience. They break narrative story. They do it a lot, and they often poke fun at the show, at how silly kind of the concept of the show is. The other day,
I love that.
The other day, April O'Neil looks at the camera and she's like, "Oh, another, empty warehouse for, like, what a great, because that's a trope that you see all the time." Raphael, Donatello, they'll look at the camera and they'll say things like, "Oh, didn't we see that gag before in episode 64?" And they do stuff like that. It's very fun, and you might not have caught that kind of tongue-in-cheek quality to the show as a child.
This is
probably whenever you had. Yeah, the '89 one. And so, very fun to relive it. There is a live action show, the Next Mutation live action show. I own it. I haven't watched it. Hell, I didn't even think I watched it when it aired on Fox back in the day. I can't really speak to that. I wore this shirt specifically today, though. This is the 2003 animated series. It was part of the initial launch for the Fox Box lineup. It was a Saturday morning kids lineup. It had Ultimate Muscle. It had all these great cartoons. Kirby, Right Back at You. It had Fighting Foodons, Ultraman Tiga. It was very cool. I loved it. One of my favorite all-time Saturday morning lineups. 2003. And I think the 2003 show gets overlooked a lot. I've actually heard people in recent years, especially with the new awesome, and we'll get to it momentarily, Nickelodeon show being out, they say, "Oh, the 2003 show, nah, not my cup of tea."
I did hear that Leonardo always had to save the day and the other turtles were just kind of like sidekicks in that show. Is that right?
I didn't really get that impression. My basis for liking the 2003 show, it's not as, maybe clever, as funny as the original or the new show, but it's definitely more sci-fi. And if you read like the Black and White Mirage comic books, what this is all based upon, the Eastman and Laird books, they were very kind of sci-fi. The Turtles would go to space. There was the Fugitoids. There was, all these different like species of aliens, and I mean, it's very, they were not afraid to stretch the bounds of the imagination. And on the 2003 show, we saw characters from different universes. We saw the Turtles go up to gladiatorial games in outer space. So, I mean, very, I think it's a cool show. It never really got a full-scale DVD release, so that's unfortunate. You can probably find all the episodes bootleg via the internet. Now, you're more intimately familiar with this new show.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
And I like it a lot, but since you're watching it, you're following it, give me your impressions on it.
Well, something that really got my attention, in fact, like 3 specific things. The Turtles, they don't look like copies of each other. They actually have
unique characteristics that
yes,
set them
unique
apart.
physical
I'm thinking of the gap in the tooth of Donatello.
Yeah, and he's got like brown eyes, and Raphael's got green eyes. I don't really remember what color Michelangelo's are, but I'm pretty sure Leonardo has blue eyes. The way that their belts are set up is quite different than what I've seen in the past, and I like that. There's a lot of humor in it. Let's see. That's the first thing I was
Yeah.
thinking of. The second thing I was thinking of was what they actually do animation-wise. When they have a joke or when there's some sort of like feud, they jump a little bit into what I kind of take as a bit of a Japanese style.
Yeah, manga and an anime influence, the expressions pumping out the side, the exaggerated eyes. It's very fun. I think more so, I think what sets this one apart maybe from the other two is the sheer fun factor. Yes, it's on Nickelodeon, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's intended specifically for young children. I know a lot of people that are in our age bracket, the late 20s, early 30s, that love the show. If you really love, I think, the Turtles universe, I think this new show is definitely worth seeing.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
this first
definitely.
season, which I believe just ended, unless it's on a break, has been phenomenal.
I do want to point something else out. This has a lot more character depth. Like, you can see the separations in the personalities.
Absolutely.
It's not just a few vague differences either. It's like, wow, these guys really are different. And they fight like brothers.
Yeah.
And I'd say in one I don't know if it was the last episode I watched. I think it might have been the one previous. But they actually were commanded by Splinter to switch weapons. And it totally made them all klutzy.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh, man. It was hilarious.
Great show. I think you nailed it on the head. The personalities are huge. Whoa. Hey, if it's not bees, it's mowing lawns. But hey, we shoot guerrilla film style. Let's talk about this toy though. That's why we came here today. Includes his ninja arsenal, so he's got his size. There's some other stuff in the background here. Hothead and a sharp sight expert. I'm gonna open this up. Do you have a favorite turtle?
It's hard for me to choose, but I am
It's like choosing between a favorite kid. I mean, that's...
See, I've always just liked them all for specific features about him. Raphael, I like his sort of badass, I'm gonna, like, you know, fuck some shit up, pardon my language, but it's the only way I know how to explain it. I like Leonardo's leadership skills and how cool-headed he is. He's, you know, very strategic.
Absolutely.
And, see, Donatello, you know, I'm a big fan of, like, building
the tinkering,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, I like mechanical things, so that's interesting. And Michelangelo's personality, oh man, he's my least favorite of the three, but he still has a pretty important personality. And from what I understand,
On the floor.
yes,
Yeah.
from what I understand, the personality that he has actually came from the '89 show that we were talking about. In the comic books, it wasn't so much that.
As pronounced.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he's the party dude, as it was once stated in the old theme song.
Well, I think here we see Raphael. I gotta say right off the bat, articulation. I'm no expert, but incredibly agile, very bendable, flexible. He's got wrist, joint, all kind of manipulation here. Ed, I don't know if you want to take a look at that.
And check this out. What's different from the original toys from the 80s? His size go on the back instead of the front.
Yep. As a kid, I was a big Raphael fan. Over time, it's almost, you'd imagine it to be the reverse. Because Michelangelo is very fun-loving. He loves the pizza. He loves the comedy. Maybe more kind of a kid's favorite. But as I've grown older, I've actually grown to appreciate Michelangelo more and more. I love the light tone that he adds to the show. We're going to get down here, ground level, where Tor is really the man to be played at with. And I think it's definitely a great time to be a Ninja Turtles fan, whether you're new to the franchise or come with a background as Eddie and I do.
I like the plastic that he's made out of. It's very flexible.
Yeah, it's almost like a rubber. Like it is really nice. It's not a hard plastic. It's very fun to just get your hands on and play with. Of course, just like the old Ninja Turtles toys, there's this giant sewer layer play set which is available.
Oh, that's awesome.
These are allow kids at home to dress up as their favorite character. Of course, there's going to be a whole arsenal of different vehicles, which is again accustomed to toy lines of the 80s that we grew up with. So this is a lot of fun. Again, with the I mean, with the proliferation of the availability of digital media to get your hands on anything, if you're wanting to jump into Turtles, you can probably find all the old stuff, you can find the new stuff. I certainly recommend it. As a toy, kind of narrowing our focus here, as a toy, again, I'm no expert, but I really dig it. And I think the only thing that would be appropriate now, Ed, is we go grab a slice of pizza with Raph.
I agree.
Let's go get a greasy piece, man. See ya. Come on, Eddie.
Hey, this is Eddie from Review the World. Some good stuff coming up. First, I'm going to take me a nap.
Hey everybody, it's Brian, Poetry Corner. This is like the 4th or 5th edition. This is the first time that I'm not reading an original poem. I'm just going to try this once, probably not again. One of my favorite writers, Jack Kerouac, more known for his other work, but he has wrote some poems. This is a pocket handbook type size book, poems all sizes. Page 151 is a short poem called Hymn, H-I-H-Y-M-N, like a church hymn, and I'm going to read this to you guys right now, so settle back, enjoy. And when you showed me Brooklyn Bridge in the morning, God, and the people slipping on ice in the street, twice, 2 different people came over, going to work, so earnest and trifle, clutching their pitiful morning daily news, slip on ice and fall, both inside 5 minutes. And I cried. That's when you taught me tears. God in the morning, thee, and me leaning on the lamppost, wiping eyes. Nobody knew that I cried, or would have cared anyway. But oh, I saw my father and my grandfather's mother, and the long lines of chairs, and tear-setters, and dead. Me, I knew, God, you had better plans than that. So whatever plan you have for me, splitter of majesty, make it short, brief, make it snappy. Bring me home to the eternal mother today, at your service anyway, and until...